I-23 female broke up with my boyfriend of almost 2 years, Todd, 26, 2 days ago. I broke up with him because he tried to mess with my birth control. I told Todd that I intend to be child-free until I obtain my PhD and get a position with tenure at a university. I told him I was on birth control and had no intention of getting off it, and that it would be better if we doubled up protection. He said okay. 2 days ago, we were chilling in my apartment, and I told him I'd take a bath and listen to one of my audiobooks. I heard the microwave go off and I thought Todd was making mac and cheese. I hopped in the tub and was about to start when I remembered I had a bath bomb that I was gifted at my friend's baby shower. I got out of the tub and got it from my room. I found Todd messing with the pill packet I keep next to my bed. I have a missing gallbladder after several attacks, and I have to take prescription laxatives sometimes. The packet looks similar, and by similar, I mean almost the exact same, to a birth control packet, including the silver foil and the color of the pills. I asked him what he was doing and for him to hand me my pills. The package was warm. I asked him what the heck he was doing with my pills, and he broke down about how he was successful in his job and that I should want to have a family with him after 2 years. I told him to get out of my apartment, and before I slammed the door on him, let him know I had an arm implant birth control and that he microwaved my poop pills. I blocked his number, but he's been contacting me through my university's email and is refusing to take no for an answer when he apologizes. His mom's been texting me, as well as some of his friends and his sisters, telling me I'm juvenile for breaking up with him when I knew he wouldn't have been successful in tampering with my birth control because I wasn't on the pill anyway. I feel so angry and violated, but they're right. Nothing would have happened, and I'm starting to think I overreacted. Am I the idiot? You realize he's not sorry for trying to sabotage your family plans. He's sorry you caught him. Do you honestly think this man will let you get a PhD? If you return to him, you'll be pregnant within 2 years. He'll alternate bullying and love bombing you until you give in, or he figures out a way to sabotage your implant, which, by the way, several OTC herbal supplements and several prescription meds will lower the effectiveness of the implant. Does a man who was willing to steal your choice from you seem like a man you want to raise a child with? He's not even sorry. He's having his family attack her. He's committed. Hun, you're starting to think you overreacted? You don't actually need to ask this question. You already know you're just venting because your ex is a dangerous, controlling idiot. Stop doubting yourself. Move on with your life and tell anyone who complains exactly what he did. That's unhinged behavior. Make sure everyone contacts you through email or text. Block all incoming calls. When you have enough proof, go to the police and try to get a restraining order. This man is dangerous and deluded. Once you have the evidence you need, block him everywhere. Change your locks. Get a big dog or security cameras. Go to your school counselor, explain the situation, and get your campus email changed. Alert campus security to a potential risk and leave them with the current picture. You had a narrow escape, but a massive life victory. This makes my heart hurt. So many people are trying to sabotage women from being successful. I'm a nurse. Tampering with someone's medication is 100% illegal. She could probably get him on tampering with her gallbladder medication, especially if she has voicemails and messages confirming that he had tampered with them, and could take it further if he admitted via voicemail, messages, or email that he was attempting to tamper with your pills initially. Please file a police report and a restraining order, OP. This man needs consequences. This is so petty, but I may have gone too far. I, 26 female, have an older sister, J, 28, who is not in a relationship, is not pregnant, and is not planning to have kids anytime soon. While I had my son a few days ago, I'm not close to my family. There's a very big golden child thing with Jade, and my parents really should have stopped at their one perfect darling kid, what they call her, because I always got the short end of the stick with them. So when they found out my son's name was Finnick, Jay came and told me I could not call him Finnick and needed to rename my son because Finnick is on her baby boy name list. So she'll use it one day, not me. I laughed in her face and told her to leave and dismissed her request, saying she had no authority in this. My parents decided to jump in the next day, and they told me I should listen to my sister and choose another name to be a good sister to Jade. They told me to think about how Jade would feel and that she prides herself on that list. I decided to bring some snark into this, and my response was simply that if Jade wants to own the rights to names, then she better get rich fast and buy those names because otherwise, she can't stop people from using the ones on her list. Not even me. For the record, I know it doesn't work like that. My parents started to freak out over this and basically told me I was being a bully, saying things like, "How dare I dismiss Jade?" I threw them out too. What followed were texts from Jade and my parents, saying I had no reason to treat them so rudely. I blocked them. I might be done, but did I go too far? Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. If you looked over your sister's list and told her certain names were off limits because they were on your list, would she offer you the same benefit? Of course not. This is the action of a child who was given special treatment by your parents and never said no in life. She grew up into an adult who doesn't seem to comprehend that there are other people in the world, and you cannot dictate the terms of another person's life. You name your baby whatever it is you wish to name them. You tell your sister that she survived the millions of other people with the same name as her future baby, so she'll survive yours if you choose that name. Or better yet, tell them that Jade is on your list and that she should be a good sister and change her name in case you have a daughter next. You didn't go too far. They went too far with this stupid demand. I, 34 female, have been with my husband, 37, we'll call him Nathan, for 8 years. Ever since our daughter toddler was born, I've been unable to trust Nathan with anything, no matter how small. Background context. When I was 19, after a semi-truck driver fell asleep at the wheel and turned my car into scrap metal with me inside it, I have enough metal holding me together that I light up like a Christmas tree for TSA, and am physically impaired with good days and bad days. I used a portion of my settlement check to buy a house outright and have it retrofitted to accommodate my needs, as I'll eventually require a wheelchair. I work in software development as it's fun, and nobody cares if I work from bed on bad days. My husband has not worked in 5 years, which was fine until our daughter was born. Between the settlement money, a paid-off house, and my salary, I enjoyed having him here with me. He contributed by handling most of the domestics. We pay for a weekly cleaner with monthly deep cleaning because it gives us more time together. Ever since our daughter was born, it's been like a light switch turned off in his head. For our daughter, he would buy the wrong size diapers, not fully mixed bottles, put diapers on backward, leave out poop-covered wipes, forget to latch cabinets. This past week, he's gone to the store 3 times because he keeps coming home with the wrong size socks and shoes for her. I eventually just ordered the right ones on Amazon. He's tried to help me with my weekly pill organizer fill up several times and has spilled the contents of all new medications all over the floor, then not seeing that he didn't get all of them off the floor. He's repeatedly brought me grapefruit juice to take my medications with. A huge no. He repeatedly forgets that I can't have dairy and puts milk in my coffee or cheese on a burger. He has broken so many things of mine from being careless. He shattered my laptop because it slipped out of his hand when he tried to pack it for a trip, even after I said I'd pack my own electronics. We've lost so many spoons and forks in the garbage disposal. He tried to replace the head gasket in my car and over-torqued the engine bolt, which shattered inside the block. 2 different shops said they couldn't repair it. We got a new vehicle because a replacement engine would have cost $11,000. A week later, he crashed the new car into the garage door because he thought he'd pressed the brakes and not the accelerator. He wanted to do TikToks and streaming as a hobby. I supported him initially, but I quickly noticed a pattern. Anything regarding our daughter or me, he was sloppy and careless. He never whoopsed his own stuff. He would build entire sets to stream or make videos with, leave the garage, and leave his brain in the garage. It came to a head 4 nights ago. He streamed himself building a new set piece for 9 hours straight. Meanwhile, I worked, clocked out early to pick up our daughter from summer camp, cooked and fed both of us, and got her ready for bed. He came out to help put her to bed. I let him know that I needed to get some work done and would be in my office. I asked him to take the trash out, and he says he will. 2 hours later, I left my office, and the house felt very warm. He'd taken out the trash but left our front door partially open, and he was back in the garage with his game volume really loud. I panicked since our daughter was able to get out of the bed, and thankfully she was sound asleep. But she could have easily shuffled right out of the house, and he wouldn't have noticed. Then I noticed a stove burner with a small pot on it and nothing inside. I didn't use the stove for cooking that night. I popped my head into the garage and said, "Hey, I need you for a minute." I informed him of the door situation, and he responded, "I thought I locked it." We checked the camera, and no, he did not. I asked about the burner being on, and he said he was planning to make ramen and forgot. He pulled the still hot pot off the burner and put it straight into the sink, on top of our daughter's favorite plastic plate, which is now ruined. I'll admit, I overreacted and screamed, "What are you doing?" He realized what he'd done and pulled the pot off our daughter's plate and straight onto the countertop. I grab it quickly and run it underwater to cool it down. I tell him, I can't tonight. I can't deal with him. I'm taking my meds and going to sleep. He gets a cup from the cupboard and sets it straight onto the burner that'd been on. I hit my limit. I started crying. He kept saying that it was fine. Things happen. It was just an accident. He's had a rough day from streaming. He's just tired. Why am I crying? It's just a cup. We can replace it. The anger hit and I said, "It's basically because I have a liability and not a partner." He said, "What the heck does that mean?" I screamed that it was because I couldn't trust him to do anything. I'm always having to watch him like a child. I always had to bear the cost of his mistakes. Every time I get careless and think I can trust him to be an adult, I'm always the one getting screwed over. I then said, "I can't see you as a partner anymore. You're just another liability in my checkbook." He immediately stormed out of the kitchen and went to bed. I called my mom and told her what happened. She thought it was just stress and offered to take our daughter for a week so we could figure this out without her seeing it. She says it was an idiot thing to call my husband a liability. In the morning, I told my husband that my mom would pick up our daughter from summer camp and offer to watch her for a week. He said, "Okay." And that's the only interaction we've had since. He spends all day in the garage playing games with his friends, making TikToks and streaming. For food, he's been ordering DoorDash and having the person deliver it to the garage. It's been days, and he refuses to be in the same room as me. I've tried messaging him to ask if we can talk or figure out a solution, but he's just left me unread. If I pop into the garage, he ignores me, but apologizes to his friends or viewers for the interruption and unmutes his mic when the noise stops. Before the blow-up, I asked if something was going on. I tried to gently respond every time he screwed up, so our daughter didn't associate mistake with anger. I asked him to schedule a medical appointment with a doctor to see if something was going wrong. He always said I was overreacting. People make mistakes. I didn't see an issue, even when the same mistakes kept happening. When I tried to get him to understand that it was concerning just how expensive his mistakes were getting, he'd wave it off as it's not like we can't afford it. I love him dearly. I just miss the person he was before we had a child. The one I could trust and rely on. Did I screw this up forever? Was I being too harsh on his mistakes? Am I missing something? Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Let me get this straight. He doesn't work, breaks all your stuff, and behaves like a child? Congrats, OP. You actually have 2 children, one lovely toddler and one huge man baby. Man babies are notorious for being unreliable partners and fathers because they also need a lot of parenting. Seriously, your husband is an idiot, and I can't help but feel like he's taking advantage of you. Sounds to me like he should be worried that his meal ticket will boot him out the door. That's exactly how he views her. Notice how whenever he messes up, he says, "It's not like we can't afford it." Well, the OP can't afford it, but he definitely can't when he's jobless and spends all his time streaming and going on TikTok. He's not a partner, he's a leech. My husband hasn't worked in 5 years. 5 years? What in the actual heck? Yeah, he knows it's dumping time, so he's trying to ignore it and pretend it won't happen, and/or hoping to guilt you and apologize to him, or he wants you to dump him. He's trying to make you dump him so he doesn't look like the bad guy when you've just had a kid. Am I the only one thinking this looks like he's trying to kill them to get the inheritance? Repeatedly leaving medication out for the toddler to access? Leaving the door open so she could get out without him noticing? Giving OP something she can't eat after 8 years together? Come on. Potentially tampering with her medications or trying to get her to take it with something that isn't good? Leaving an empty pot on the heated stove? An excellent way to start a house fire, especially on a burner stove, etc. He's not stupid. He's deliberately doing these things. He doesn't destroy his own belongings. He's an abusive person. He's dangerous and a serious threat to yourself and your child. For some background, I'm a teen and I live with my mom and see my dad sometimes. My parents aren't divorced or married, they just don't live together and never have. My mom is going through cancer treatment. She didn't want to tell anyone, but my dad found out, and now he wants me to come and live with him. I don't want to. My dad's house stresses me out. Too many people live there. It's him, his sister, his father, other kids, 24 male and 22 female, and a revolving door of cousins. It's so loud. Someone is always screaming. It's technically bigger than my mom's place, but there's nowhere near enough space. I have to share a room with my stepsister and any visiting cousins. I couldn't keep anything there unless I wanted it destroyed or thrown away in an attempt to clean up, because there was too much stuff everywhere. My mom's house is the opposite. Unless her friends are over, it's just me and her. It's clean, quiet, relaxed. Of course there's talking, and we play music at all hours, but it's a normal volume. There's rarely yelling. I have a cat, another thing not possible at my dad's, my own room, and even my own bathroom. We have an entire area dedicated to books and records, which could never happen at my dad's. I've tried to tell him politely that I want to stay with my mom. Her treatment isn't that major. She says it was caught early and everything should return to normal before the end of the year. He didn't take it well, and he's telling me that I don't get a choice here. He's my father, and my mother isn't a fit parent right now. I don't agree. My mom is fine. There's not even a custody order in place or anything, and it seems too late to get one as I'm already a teen. We had a huge argument. He called me disrespectful and said I needed to obey my parents. His other kids joined in to say I was being a spoiled brat, that I was part of the family, and that living with my mom wasn't real life. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. My mom was diagnosed with cancer earlier this year. Like your mom's case, it was caught early. She's already completed her treatment and she's fine. And like in your mom's case, the treatments weren't debilitating, and her life pretty much went on as usual. Plus, you're 16 and likely already caring for yourself to some extent. Between that and your mom's condition, there's no need for you to move houses. Tell your dad that if the situation starts to go sideways, you'll let him know. And tell your half-siblings to mind their own business. On a side note, if your mom were actually sick from cancer and/or treatment, did he expect you to just up and abandon her at a time when she most needed help? It sounds like Dad's sick of paying child support. His other kids are joining in to say I'm a spoiled brat and that I'm part of the family and living with my mom isn't real life. Not real life? Is your mom's house in virtual reality? Narnia? They're idiots. Do you know what sounds like dealing with real life? Stepping up to take care of your mother while she undergoes cancer treatment. Maybe she doesn't need much actual care, but I'm sure having her loving daughter around for moral support and maybe doing some extra dishes sometimes will mean a lot to your mom. I think everyone's jealous of your idyllic life and don't want you to have it. Stay with your mom. It sounds awesome there.